Ferrari has unveiled its 2024 Formula One Challenger, one the team claims it's 95% new compared to its predecessor. Featuring what I would say is one of the best liveries within the 2024 grid, a quick visual analysis is enough to understand the improvements Ferrari has made year on year, and it's clear that Ferrari has not limited itself to copying Red Bull's lead, but also has maintained distinctive technical choices. So let's take a look at what we've seen so far, as the render images and the actual car on the track are very much similar. Just as the air flows over the car, let's start at the front and move rearwards. Checking out the front wing, the first thing that we notice is that for the SF-24, Ferrari has got rid of the aero separators it had on the SF-23. Also, we can see that Ferrari has incorporated a slot gap between the front wing and main plane and the underside of the nose. This design choice effectively makes the underside of the nose aggressive, generating better flow conditions to the underfloor's central section. The nose is fairly rounded off, allowing the airflow to come off the upper surface and around the sides with minimal effort. These changes combined improves the airflow towards the underfloor, improving rear performance. Detail improvements to the slot gaps joining the end plate has been made, much similar to what Mercedes has on its W14 last season, aiming to generate some sort of outwash. Managing the outwash flow around the front tyre is critical to the performance of the underfloor. With regards to front suspension, Ferrari has chosen to remain faithful with its previous approach, striking with a pushrod front suspension. From the images, we can see that the top wishbones are mounted up high, possibly creating enough of an anti-dive to maintain a stable platform. Moving onto the side, we can clearly see that Ferrari have adopted the downwashing Sidepod's design. From the front, we can see that there is a reduced inlet from which the tray for separating flows originates. This creates a clear distinction between the flow directed towards the radiators and that towards the car's bottom. The upper part of the side pods is pretty interesting and a little bit different. The principle is still downwash, but now there is a basin in the innermost part, creating a small water slide. The goal of this design is to bring as much air as possible towards the rear, resulting in consequent gain in efficiency. In terms of the undercut, it's not aggressive as Red Bull or Aston Martin have adopted for, but has enough distinction to pull clean airflow towards the car's rear from the bottom. As expected, to incorporate the undercut, the side impact structure has been moved onto the car's floor section, similar to Red Bull and Mercedes designs. This change in design language has led to internal revisions as well. Ferrari have changed the position of some radiators and electrical components, seeking a different weight distribution and thus better tyre management. However, Ferrari has chosen to differentiate itself from other teams and proposes a different concept in the side pods, moving to top body aerodynamics a bit, focusing on major revisions to the engine cover design. The specific tight design we've seen on the SF-23 disappears. In its place is a solution derived from Red Bull. We find a flat tray at the rear of the cover with a large opening around the exhaust. This variation affects how the air interacts with the rear wing and the beam wing. The air scoop is different from what was seen on Haas and Sauber, sticking with the previous triangular in shape. Coming onto the halo for a bit, there are slight differences. In terms of the overall aerodynamic profile, looking from various angles, the SF-24's halo aesthetically provides an air-cutting effect, providing me with the idea that detailing has been engineered with efficiency on focus. Taking a small look at the floor, much hasn't changed, but minor tweaks. We will have to wait till Bahrain to see the real one though, as renders could be misleading. Moving on to the back, the rear suspension, similar to the front, has seen some changes. While the system remains pull rods on the rear, engineers at Maranello have intervened on the geometry of the attachments. The upper triangles are now more inclined to ensure the addition of the anti-squat effect at the rear. This way, Ferrari will have a much more stable platform combined with front kinematics. These geometrics limit load transfers during braking and acceleration. Another one of the major issues with the SF-23 should, therefore, be resolved. Checking out the rear wing, we can see clearly the end plate having a huge cutout. Again, design change focused on making efficiency improvements. Checking on the diffuser, not much intricate detailing to be seen, but one change to notice around the rear end is a revised gearbox design. Due to the changes made to the car's rear suspension, a shorter gearbox has been designed, one aiding in weight saving, but second most importantly, aiding in better aerodynamic performance around the diffuser section, improving overall rear end performance. Talking about the SF-24's improvements as a whole, the team's chassis technical director Enrico Cardile elaborated on how much of a redesign the SF-24 is and what the team's ultimate goals are with the 2024 Challenger. Adding on to this matter, the Italian engineer went on to say, "With the SF-24, we wanted to create a completely new platform. In fact, it can be said that every area of the car has been redesigned. We transformed the driver's feedback into engineering dimensions and accommodated their need for an easier to drive car, and therefore to exploit and push to the limit. We did not set any design constraints except to obtain a robust and honest single-seater, which on the track does what we see in the wind tunnel, taking as a reference the development direction we adopted last year, which has made us take a leap forward in terms of competitiveness by the end of the season." While we were making this video, the SF-24 was making its debut at Fiorano, with both Charles and Carlos taking turns on its first shakedown. Charles, after his run, was happy with the SF-24's handling, describing his initial feelings to be all improvements in terms of drivability. What interests me most is performance, because it's on the track that everything is at stake. The SF-24 promises to be less sensitive and more drivable. I would say that for us drivers, that's exactly what is needed to do well. I expect a step forward in many aspects. With a 95% revised package, and upon analysing the SF-24 in person, Ferrari seem to have a competitive package on their hands. The big issue for the Italian squad will be ensuring peace between its drivers, one who is the Ferrari boy, while the other is looking to prove himself to secure a drive for the 2025 season. Concluding our technical analysis and first impressions of the 2024 Ferrari SF-24, what do you guys think? How impressed are you with Ferrari's 2024 machinery? Out of 10, rate where Ferrari's 2024 livery stands out, because this car gets a solid 8.5 in my books. We are very much into your thoughts and perspectives in the comments section down below. And on your way down, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to get notified of our future uploads, to keep yourselves up to date about the 2024 Formula 1 season.